I'm from Center for Teacher Accreditation, and I'm here at Focus High School today with the national winner, Mr. Minhaj Arastu, and the winning team from Focus High School. So let's start this session today by a quick introduction of the winners, and then we'll go on with some of the questions that we want to ask this dynamic team at Focus High School. So Mr. Arastu, would you start with a little introduction about yourself?
My name is Minhaj Arastu, and I'm principal here at the school and also a long-time social studies teacher. So I enjoy the subject, but now it's been a pleasure to work with teachers and move out of direct teaching and start to build up an institution.
Sir?
My name is Mustafa Hussain, and I teach English in high school. CENTA has always been a great learning experience. I'm also excited to go through CENTA certification starting shortly, and CENTA ranking actually gives you confidence and an aspiration to develop your subject and get connected with the teaching community.
So sir, would you also talk about the subject and the rank that you got in the TPO
this year? I got 35th rank in the high school English track, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am?
Yes, hi, I'm Sharbanu, and I've been PYP coordinator, the primary year program coordinator in Focus High School, and it's been a great learning experience since taking part in CENTA. I mean, it's always fun, more of a fun than writing an exam. It doesn't give that exam feeling. So yeah, we really enjoyed it. I've also completed my CENTA certification, and I'm really glad doing that. And yeah, so like Minhaj got the top rank, he's studying first, and I am the 500 rank holder for the middle school. So like we start and close the account with Focus High School.
Congratulations. Ma'am?
Yeah, hi. So I'm Asma Zaidi. I'm also the vice principal at Focus High School. CENTA was a first-time experience. It was good fun. Yeah, it was good fun giving the exam, challenging. Hope to give it next year as well.
So,
hi, I'm Murtaza Hussain Zaidi, and I'm the school counselor here, and I'm special educator as well. And being associated with psychology, neurology, and this biological subject, I opted for high school biology, and I got 11th, national 11th rank, and I'm in the top 500 also. My rank is around 473, I guess.
Fantastic.
And CENTA has been the first experience for me also, but I enjoyed taking the CENTA exam, and I aim for the future CENTA certifications as well. Thank you.
great. So, how are you feeling, sir? You are the national topper, and you have a lot of your colleagues who are in the winning team. So, would love to hear your reaction about what you're feeling today.
From the beginning, ever since we were engaged with CENTA, I felt that this was an organization that made a lot of sense for what we're trying to do, because it's all about teaching quality on one hand, and then holistic education and continual professional growth. So in that sense, I'm very happy that we're tied up in doing these certifications. And when writing this is the first time I wrote the paper also.
Okay.
And we had an experience in the last 3 years. So I think since the first year, teachers have been writing. So among our team, Mr. Mustafa and Sharbanu are repeat rank holder. Outcome for the whole school, because if it's a one-off thing, it's nice, but doesn't say something about the institution. And I'm interested most about the institution, so I'm glad that we had a good number of teachers that who come out well. And more than that, even the number that participated, I'm also happy that I think we had almost, was it 40? 40? Yeah, 40 teachers took the exam.
Okay.
But I like that culture about our school, that we're trying.
Indeed. That's absolutely fantastic. So, how did you hear about TPO? Through
Our school is a Hindu newspaper school,
okay.
And I'm personally also a big fan. I think you all read it at home. So I saw it in the Hindu newspaper, I think in 2015.
Okay.
And it made sense. I didn't sign up that year. You all signed up. I don't know what prompted you all to do it.
Yeah, I think the three of us were seen most of the time.
Yeah. The Hindu newspaper you must have seen.
No, you told us that
Right.
we opted for that.
Yeah.
Okay. And And when you read about this particular Olympiad, it was in its first edition. What made you participate in something like this without knowing anything about the organization or what this particular initiative was all about?
You might tell why you all did.
I think we thought that it's a very great opportunity to measure our skills and see how we get ranked along with other schools and other teachers in a very positively competitive spirit. So that was one thing, and at the same time we also wanted to learn how can our proficiency be measured, and that I think that curiosity to find out how our competencies will be measured and how these competencies can be improved and shared with others. These were the things that encouraged us to go for it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Could you come a little closer because I'm not sure if we are audible. Okay, I know we are live, but okay. I would also like to understand a little bit about your school culture. You're an IB accredited school, so a little bit about the journey that you have taken as a school would be very interesting for our teachers to understand.
We're in the old city of Hyderabad, and there are many. The old city used to be the heart of the city. It was the historical, root of the metropolis now, and there are many people in our, social circle and professional circle who live here and have ties here. So over the last almost 13 years, we've been brainstorming about how to develop education better here, and we always noticed so many big international school buses moving around here, taking kids, hours away for schooling. So we felt that why cannot that be available here? And so we brainstormed. Mr. Mustafa was involved in a study center and career guidance programs and all kinds of things in the last 13 years. And finally we came upon the conclusion that school education is a crucial thing, which is we can't aim for the older children until they have a better foundation. So with that in mind, and with the help of board members who contributed financially and in terms of vision, we started the school in 2013, knowing that we don't, contrary to Telangana and Hyderabad culture, we're not preparing them for IIT, we're not preparing them for all this kind of rat race. We want them to be good human beings. And Ms. Sharbana and I both have a background in IB.
Okay.
Ms. Asma has a background in Montessori teaching. So the IB philosophy was already in our hearts, and that made the most sense for what we wanted to do. And that was a big challenge because IB schools are at 10 times the fee structure. What our target was, middle class and common families. So with that in mind, we asked the IB for a grant, and so they gave $25,000 in the beginning as seed money to start the program.
Okay.
And they don't allow it to be repeating, like it's a one-time aid to get programs off the ground. So that was a big boost that they gave us that chance, and then 2 years later we were able to get through the authorization. So that was, a very big encouragement that it can be done, and the IB also shares a vision that access is important.
Absolutely.
So in the middle of that, Ms. Sharbana joined from Aga Khan Academy and brought her whole experience with IB methodology. And then more recently, Ms. Asma joined us. Our school, like I said, was access oriented, quality and access both.
Okay.
So we started working with a group of children who are in an orphanage, and they were studying in charitable schools. So they were not getting very high quality education. So we were trying to see how to help them and bring them into our school. So we started a bridge school there on the campus to get them ready for mainstream.
Okay.
So Ms. Asma is working with them using multi-age classrooms and Montessori plus IB kinds of methods to get them going. And people like Murtaza, who's our counselor, and Mr. Musfa, they're all filling in different aspects of things which are important, like counseling children. We have, besides him, three other counselors who are working with the children. So that's all part of the holistic outlook. We want to see kids develop in all areas.
So very unique approach to education, combining IB accreditation with affordable education, which we don't see much of in India, at least at the moment. Very commendable. So how do you see initiatives like CENTA certification contributing towards teachers' professional growth and professional development in a school like yours?
Like Mustafa was saying about why he took part in the first place, I think that we feel I feel in my heart, and I think many share that we feel like we're doing good work, and children are responding, and we feel like as colleagues we're also doing well. But it's always a question that, are we just a small spark and no one else sees it, or no one else agrees? So some outside third-party check is needed, I think.
Validation.
Yeah, validation is needed. So IB gave that on one level, at the school level and the curriculum level, and CENTA gives a more micro view on, we think a teacher is good, so are they actually when somebody else looks at them and studies them? So the test is the objective measure, but then the certification is even more in-depth, three-dimensional picture of what the teacher is doing. So at all levels, it makes sense to have a validation.
And I understand you've also been leveraging CENTA standards, the teaching competency framework that we have in the school. Would you share with some of our principals and teachers how you have utilized that in the school, and how do you think it has helped you?
Yeah, we wanted to bring a little bit more structure to performance, so that we can measure it and basically give feedback to the teachers about how they're doing. And but we had job descriptions before, but they were things which made sense to us. CENTA gave us standards which had a lot of parallels with the job description, and filled out some things, or gave words to things which were in our mind but were not given the framework. So we took that on as a kind of job description, and then we used it for reflection and appraisal also. So it helps us to give the teachers some clear targets of what they need to work on and how we can discuss. And we're trying to see that it's feedback-based and constructive. Our appraisals, we want it to be in that spirit. And I think the framework has that same spirit and background.
Okay.
I think the CENTA appraisal really worked for struggling teachers and new teachers. It gave them clear targets and told them exactly where they stand. And they could see that they were starting and they need to improve on it, so they didn't take it negatively. They knew that there was a level 1, level 2 and level 3 of teaching competencies, where they stand, where they have to go. So I think it was very clear. So CENTA appraisal really worked for new teachers that we worked with.
So now I'm going to ask you one of our most popular questions that we get asked all the time by our teachers. How did you prepare for TPO?
We didn't really prepare for TPO.
I think it's just experience.
That
helps
There's
us.
nothing to prepare.
Actually, there's nothing to prepare.
There's
It's
nothing
more
to prepare, actually.
what you do in school, like in your teaching and learning practices. That's what we need to put in over.
I would add a little bit. I think just a little bit is that we didn't really prepare, but I think all of us are on top of what's happening. Like we're constantly educating ourselves and upgrading ourselves, and I think that matters a lot.
And more importantly, if you have this culture of collaborative, you have a collaborative working environment where you regularly share your experiences, ideas across different groups. I think that culture itself nourishes you and prepares you for such kind of, at least mentally, and prepares you for that kind of examination. So it's a reflection of how much you share in your workplace, basically.
But I think there is some content preparation which is also not conscious or intentional. Exam preparation oriented, but it's part of the culture that IB and Indian School Leadership Institute and 321 is another organization that works with our teachers. They all have teaching methodology and philosophy which is in harmony with CENTA. So it does give us preparation.
That's how we upgrade ourselves. We're constantly upgrading ourselves through those programs, and we're constantly upgrading ourselves in our own subjects.
So in your school you have set in a culture where people are working in a very collaborative manner, sharing the best practices. You have
attending workshops,
attending and a culture of continuous upgradation for all the teachers.
Continuous education.
So that's great, but then we have a large number of teachers across the country working in different environments who may not have access to some of the opportunities that you have on an ongoing basis. So if they were to participate in some initiatives like these, they still are motivated to do something well for themselves. So what would be your advice for teachers like that who are trying to make difference in their own way, and perhaps their environment may not be as positive and as collaborative?
For that, you need to have two things. You need to have that spark, that curiosity, and you need to have Google. That's enough. In today's world, believe me, I am from psychological background, and these things which are done, which cost monetarily, like heavily, 4,000, 5,000 for a simple test, is available free of cost online. So you need to have that curiosity, and you need to have Google.
And
That's
you
it.
time and the perseverance to go through, upgrade yourselves and constantly go through
There's
papers.
so much available. This is the age. This is the
Right.
right age, and this is the age of technology at its peak. So if you have the curiosity and if you have the will, you can be anything.
There are lots of lessons and lesson plans,
Right.
and lots of teaching aids online, which definitely make a difference if you keep doing it. You cannot cram for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You can't cram for it.
Yes.
So there's no shortcut. Basically, there's no shortcut.
Right.
You have to upgrade yourself constantly, and over a period of time, you get the hang of it.
So
I have one more comment. Is it available in Indian languages too?
So
The
this
test?
the test. So this year, so last year we introduced Hindi for primary, and this year we have also introduced Tamil and Telugu for primary sections. And going forward, we will keep on adding more languages. So, for example, for next year, we hope to add Marathi in the primary section. So we are expanding. We started with 7 subjects, and today we are at 14 subjects. We started with English. We've introduced 3 more languages. So we hope to continue to increase the breadth and the depth of the Olympiad as well as the certification.
But one thing I feel is that the test is, besides the content and the spirit, language is too important.
Right.
The way the questions are phrased and the way
Yeah.
the options come, it makes sense for me. With my American education background, it's exactly how we've always been tested from primary school
Okay.
onwards.
Okay.
I can imagine, and all of us, I think, have strong language skills, which gives us access to the test.
Okay.
But we have many teachers in our school, and I'm sure in India, who are very good, and they have the right spirit and techniques, but they don't have the strength on language to answer a multiple
Yes.
choice question correctly.
Okay.
Although they would be able to if you did it in a different way,
Okay.
orally
Okay.
or some other.
Okay.
So that is one filter which is
Simpler
excluding
English.
some people.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you can't get out of logic and clarity in language.
Sure,
That is
sure.
a prerequisite. But I'm just saying that I think that filters a lot of
Okay.
teachers who have good skills
Okay.
and quality, but they don't have the facility of language that much.
So that's valid feedback, and we definitely, in fact, this year we did try to make it simpler than we had last year, and we'll keep on working at it continuously.
Right.
We do try to maintain a certain standard,
Yeah,
and it's
that's
always
good.
a challenge for us when we sort of make the cut. But I take your point, and definitely something.
But I
to
think
be
the
worked
quality
on.
and content of the test was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It made sense as a teacher.
Exactly.
Like I have also given other exams, like I've given NET exams and I've given PhD exams and I've given other kind of exams. And it's at some point for teachers, I think it's pretty ridiculous that when a Hindi teacher is trying to give an exam, she's being tested on general knowledge and what happened in sports and all kinds of things which are very irrelevant to her teaching and to a classroom setting and environment. So I think what I liked about CENTA exam was that it had questions which were relevant to teaching
Right.
and to the teaching environment.
And the questions are also not informational in the sense we are not
they're
asking
logic.
when was the battle
they're
fought,
logic,
but-
logic and
Right.
reasoning and skills that a teacher would really need. So it makes you think.
Yeah.
So yes, I think the content was very good
So
and very relevant.
would you feel that that taking the test itself is somewhat of a professional development effort?
Yes, it is
Exactly,
definitely. That's why we have.
Because while answering especially questions in the classroom pedagogical section, so the first thing that comes to mind is, have you done this
Yeah.
Right.
or have you not done this? So that is how you get a very
Exactly,
clear
yeah.
picture of what have you practiced and what you haven't.
Okay.
And that's again a great development in itself.
And then the report that comes out, well, that gives so much of clarity and understanding, and it's so detailed and well planned. So I think that again would be a PD because you know exactly what is right.
Where your strengths are.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think to summarize, cramming is not going to make you a winner. Continuously upgrading yourself, keep working at your skills, keep learning, and apply what you learn in the test is what helps focus being the winner, right? Great. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks a lot.
and congratulations
Thank you
to
so
all
much
of you
for the
once again.
opportunity.
Thank you.